Hey, say it's a merry way day. I flipped way your way. Sun
So
is
welcome,
up,
welcome,
happy,
Gary,
happy.
and we have your book here, Right? What better title would that be? And this is for all the writers out there, so welcome aboard.
I've been writing for a long time in novels and stories, screenplays, and a couple of stage plays. So I kind of covered all the ground of fiction and loved it. I've loved it all this time because I have done some teaching, is what I call emotional realism. How to get it, how to find it. That's why the title of the book is Write, Find the Truth in Your Fiction. It simply comes down to making it feel real.
And you've done a great job, and the way you've done it, which is wonderful for me as a writer, how you actually roll into the examples of what you did with characters or what someone else did in a film, intuitive versus the analytical.
Yeah, I think you have to do both when you're writing a book like this.
What about a screenplay?
I use both left and right brain. I've written the book so that the writer of any kind of fiction, fiction in any form.
When you taught classes, you spoke about actually using films in your teaching.
Favorite classic scenes from movies, such as The Hustler or other films that have really gone deep with me. I would analyze them and say, did you catch the line when he said that? Now, there were 1,000 choices for what he could have said, but look in there, look how it reaches out and reaches inside of us, and walk inside of the character and be the character. That's what I'm aiming for here, for the reader to feel what he's feeling and understand what he's talking about.
You want to read out of your book, whatever you want to do that would give us some specifics so we can really hear your thinking.
Maybe this is all a tangent. The real story, the important one, might be taking place now in the window of my father's television store. Almost every day, a ragged man with a big putty face settles down for a few hours on the sidewalk in front of Westland Video. He comes with dirty blankets and with paper bags wrinkled from 100 openings and closings. His once blue trousers and 3 sweaters and shoes and hands and moony face have all been dyed to match the grit of the streets. A police officer told me that the man's name is Jack, and since then I've called him Jack-o'-lantern because of his big, nearly toothless mouth and his round eyes. He sits on the sidewalk and watches his reflection in the window glass, sometimes speaking to it. I'm assuming it's his reflection. To Jack-o'-lantern, it's another being. I've often tried to overhear him, but when I come near, even when I'm washing this window and acting very absorbed in the job, Jack becomes very guarded and lowers his voice even more. Sometimes they wink at each other, Jack and the man in the glass, as if to say, we can't talk now, but more later. So I wanted to bring Chivi as a living human being as much as I could, right smack into the reader's face, so they could begin to absorb and maybe feel what he's feeling.
It's exciting. It's visual. I mean, you want to know more.
Good.
I think that's the whole thing. Actually writing in the first person here. There's something about the character that has an excitement for life, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You have to decide. You have to build this character very carefully and then decide how to lay him out there for the reader. And what was important? Well, I want him to have a sense of humor.
Right.
I want the people to feel that and learn that about him. So he says maybe the man in the glass is the most important thing happening in the world right now, you know.
Right.
And sense of humor, and he's smart. Chivi is smart. I wanted that to come across. As he's washing the window in his father's television store, he's looking through the glass, and as he cleans the glass, he says, maybe it gives me the feeling that maybe I'll get one clear look into my father that I haven't had before. And so the glass comes clean, and he stares at his father and realizes he can't really penetrate the man.
Wow.
So there's this conflict right away in the first few pages that you realize that Chivi and his father are not quite estranged, but that he can't really get inside the man, and it bothers him.
When we're developing a theme, which if the crux of it is we see right away there's a certain part of alienation that he has as well. So we've already set up a whole character trait just by that one choice, more or less.
It's the building, one of the building blocks of a character, right?
Right. That is, I like the visual of building blocks because, you know, they're not just vertical, they're lateral, and all those things that come in and weave like a wonderful thread to a human being. Did you find as a writer it helped you understand yourself better when you would have to go deeper?
I think maybe most writers become writers because they have this rich inner life, for better or for worse, because you can't always turn it off. You know, you're always thinking and dreaming and fantasizing. And that can have a richness to it, and it's a wonderful deep well for writing fiction.
I love it.
Hey, say it's a merry way day, up the way, your way. Sun is up, happy, happy, happy day. Love, love, love.